Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of Not So Daily Dosage, where I've got a lot to discuss today. Deco, the lizard, do you know what I'm saying? That brother is out here moving vicious, dangerous, and deceptive. He looks like he's trying to push Raphinha away to Barcelona. Meetings and contacts and talks today, but I'm still confident despite all of that. And also, listen, if Porto ever got in the race, that's another former club. You never know where this might go. I'm also going to be discussing Levi Colwill as well. And also Neymar, just a little dash of Neymar, because his name's coming up one too many times for me not to address it at this point. However, I want to start with Raphinha. Obviously, Deco was having meetings today or conversations today with Laporta at Barcelona. Now, this is like, you know, the friend that you have that owes you money or owes the world money. Do you know what I'm saying? And they say that they're broke, they don't have enough to pay, but then you find them in the casino at Las Vegas playing red or black. I don't understand why Barcelona are even in the conversation or having conversations for a player that we've bid and had an accepted bid of £65 million rising to. And of course, wages wise, we have offered and agreed the best personal terms with Raphinha at 115,000 around about a week, which is around about double, almost double his current wages at Leeds. And again, personal terms have been agreed with the player, but he's still waiting, open to Barcelona and waiting to see if they'll put that bid in to match Chelsea. Now, again, where are Barcelona finding this money? They've constantly said or appear to not have the money to even register. They don't even have the space to even register players or the wage capacity to do so. Christensen is currently homeless right now, just still waiting to be registered as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I can see. He's asking AC Milan, knocking at the door, do you need a centre-back? Do you know, is Kessie registered? Like, you want Lewandowski too? Kunde, Koulibaly? You can't have them all. Do you know what I'm saying? You greedy pigs. What the hell is wrong with you? Idiot sandwich settings. That's what this is. Now, I see Chelsea fans going absolutely mad. They're saying, oh my God, I'm sick and tired of players having preferences for other clubs. I don't want Raphinha anymore. He doesn't want to bleed blue. He doesn't have blue in his veins. He doesn't want to die for the badge and retire here. Listen, players have preferences. In life, everybody has preferences. You always have a job that you may prefer, but you may not get, and then you may go to another job that was not at the top of your list, priorities-wise. Life is about pyramid schemes. We are not at the top of the pyramid scheme for most of the players we're going for. Raphinha is not the only one. I don't know why this is the only time that Chelsea fans have had a meltdown and reacted on social media. Koulibaly would also prefer to join Barcelona as well. Dembele would prefer PSG if they actually made an offer, and potentially prefers Barcelona as well. And hence why the negotiations continue there. We're not the preference all the time. It is what it is, you know. Arsenal, Chelsea, Barcelona. That's the pecking order right now when it comes to Raphinha. However, that doesn't bother me. If we end up getting him, I'm not going to look at him less as a player. And also, I can give you examples. I've put this out on Twitter, but I'll say it again. Fabregas, his preference was Arsenal. Wenger and Arsenal decided not to bid. He couldn't rejoin. He came to us. We were his second choice. He then goes on to win a league title and walks off the pitch at Stamford Bridge after being substituted, tearing up and crying while Fabregas's magic is being sung. Lukaku, on the other hand, wanted to be here, loved the club, Renaissance, back again, and look what happened. I don't need to explain it to you. Speaking of Lukaku, Tuchel joked with him on the sidelines, saying that there's your daddy to Conte in a joke while they was watching the Tottenham game together, and that apparently didn't go down well. Nazar Kinsella reports that from goal. I thought that was quite funny. I'm not going to lie. Just like, yo, is that your daddy over there? Yeah, is that your guy? That you're the guy that you simp for? And yeah, it didn't go down well. So awkward. But as I said, like I said, just because the player, you know, wants to join you or supports your club, Pepe supports us, you know, doesn't mean that they're going to join you. It doesn't mean that they're going to, you know, disown you when they join you and act like Lukaku in terms of like do an interview or do a madness. When you take a look at, you know, Werner was absolutely twerking, breaking his back, you know, in every single wild position you can think of for Klopp. You know, he was twerking for Klopp. But then Chelsea came in, Klopp and Liverpool didn't put the money up, and we signed him. Kai Havertz, I know this is hard for people to hear. We signed him during COVID. If there was no COVID and Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern Munich or one of these rumored clubs could afford him, would we be his preference? Probably not. Tchouaméni, Real Madrid, preference. Again, guys, preferences. It just happens. This is football. This is business. But I don't care about any of that. Actions speak louder than words. This is not settings. I'm not interested in your preferences. I want to see what your commitment is when you touch that pitch, when you sign that contract. You may learn to love the club. You may learn to, be absolutely emotionally invested and just completely, infatuated with the club when you actually come through the doors, as most of the players are when they join this football club. We've got a pretty good track record of taking emotions and dragging them and giving trophies to players, and suddenly they want to be here for a large part of their careers. So I don't need you to support the club. I don't even need you to even have this as your first choice, like Koundé. I just need you to come in and do the business. So listen, Barcelona can't have everyone. This is kind of a situation where, in my opinion, I don't think they can afford to match our bid. Can they afford the wages that we are offering? It seems like a no and a no. Deco will be having a meeting with Chelsea's hierarchy tomorrow. Personal terms have been agreed. The meeting is scheduled. So you'd hope that tomorrow this does hopefully get finalized and moved along. Barcelona can talk all they want, but if they can't put up the cash that we can, then Leeds won't accept, and that's the be all and end all. Whether Deco wants to push this move to Barcelona or not, whether Raphinha would prefer Barcelona or not, they have to have the money. And they are linked with Koundé. They're linked with Koulibaly. You'd expect them to only get one. I don't know where Christensen is. They're linked with Raphinha. They've still negotiating with Dembele. You'd expect them to only get one. We may end up just getting the other, the other person that doesn't end up joining them, the leftover one, instead of the special one. It is what it is. I'm not bothered. Do you know what I'm saying? As long as the player fits our system and is committed when they get here, that's all that I'm concerned about. But I do still think we'll get Raphinha. But it is a little bit of drama today for the TL. Now, also, Levi Colwell's been linked with Leicester, with Southampton. Apparently is demanding, or at least saying quite vocally behind the scenes, that he would like to be heavily involved next season. He wants to be playing as many games as possible. We've heard this before from many young players from Cobham as they've come back from loans where they've played every single game and then they have Premier League interest. The difference between Levi Colwill and Livramento, the difference between Broja and Mark Gurhey, is the fact that Levi Colwill signed a 5-year deal not so long ago. Broja signed a 5-year deal last summer. Also, these guys have got long contracts, so they can't really pressurize us into selling them. They can't really put us into a corner in the same way that maybe other players could in the past if they, didn't see a pathway through to the first team. However, with these two players, I do expect us to just take a look at them in pre-season. It's the responsible thing to do, see what they do, whether Tuchel's impressed, and then go from there. I do want to see a little bit more Trevor Chalobah attitude from these youngsters, if I'm personally, if I'm being honest. Obviously, we do need to make sure there's a path. I don't want to see us having two left-sided centre-backs ahead of Levi Colwill. But if he is the immediate depth option in the left centre-back position, I think that's enough. Tomori was not a guaranteed first choice when he came from Derby, but he broke into the team. Trevor certainly wasn't a guaranteed first choice. He broke into the team. As long as you are within the squad and within one of the backup roles, I think you should then have enough confidence to go and take that next step and break in. You shouldn't be expecting to be a guaranteed starter. I would hope he's not expected to be a guaranteed starter. That would be a little bit absurd. Now, apparently this is a little bit linked to the Nathan Ake thing. Again, for me, I think Nathan Ake is a type of player where you should back yourself to leapfrog him if you are the only two competing for that left side centre-back position. He's not like at the same age as you. I think he's 27, so it's not like as if he's in the same age timeline as you. I've spoken about that before. And on top of that as well, your ceiling is extremely high. And if we know that, I'm sure Levi hopefully is confident enough to think that, and therefore over the coming years leapfrog a Nathan Ake and take his place. If you can't leapfrog a Nathan Ake, then you wouldn't be good enough for Chelsea. So that's the way I see it on that front. And hopefully we get to see him in pre-season, because I'm excited about this player. And hopefully Chelsea don't just cash in. I don't expect them to just cash in for a player that hasn't reached their ceiling in any sense of the imagination. We've done that far too often and kind of sold players for a cut price of what they're actually going to become and be worth, and therefore the dead wood remains. And we don't even, we're not going to get anywhere near as much money for players like, Alonso, etc., who are still waiting to be sold and cleared out. Neymar, French reports continue to keep flooding in, saying that he's unsettled, that he will be looking to move away from PSG this summer. We are linked with him because, we are potentially one of the only clubs that can actually afford him. He's on £606,000 a week, roughly. Image rights would be a thing as well, of course, on that deal. And his contract, I think, expires in 2025. He signed a new contract in 2021 in the summer for PSG of that year. Now, For me personally, systematically, he's almost a perfect fit. You know, apart from the fact that he's not going to maybe counter press as strong as a Raphinha, the guy is ridiculously talented. He's an incredible footballer. He solves all creativity issues. And yeah, he even brings some goals to the table as well. Whether you want him on the touchline, whether you want him as an inside 10, it doesn't get any better with a player like Neymar. However, I am personally not going to believe this until I see it. I'm sure you're exactly the same at home. We ain't going to be dragged into this saga of just like, oh my God, Neymar, Neymar, Neymar. This is a very big transfer. It's like almost, you know, maybe even bigger than a Hairline of last summer. I believe it when I see it. Okay. Personally, it looks like we're trying to spread our money across different positions as you would expect us to do so. We need about 6 players. Tuchel was promised about 6 players. A player like Neymar, despite even a 50 million price tag wage-wise, he clogs up, well, not clogs up, but he takes up a lot of that wage budget or whatever have you will. He's double what Lukaku's earning, and I don't expect him to take a wage cut. I do expect still Neymar to stay at PSG. I think this is a lot of reports, a lot of talking, chitter-chatter, but until I see a bid and until I see, you know, serious concrete movement, I'm not really going to get myself too involved in this. I'm just speaking about it today because it's been mentioned one too many a time for me to ignore. But let me know what you think about Levi Colwill especially. Do you think that he needs to be more patient, calm the hell down, maybe, you know, focus on that preseason? Chelsea also need to calm the hell down. Don't look at any bids and incomings and focus on the preseason. Everybody just get together and assess what is going to happen in that preseason, where he's going to stand in the squad and how well he's actually going to impress and perform in front of Tuchel. And also Raphinha, are you really worried about Barcelona, who seem to be playing red or black at the casino? Can they even afford him? I personally don't see how they can. And listen, if they can and they do take the option and somehow, you know, scrub up the money to take him, well, then you'd expect Dembele to become available. And personally, either or, happy days, improvement for us. Slight preference for me towards Raphinha just because of that durability and Premier League proven, of course. But Dembele is a very talented player, but of course those wages are extremely high. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Big up your damn selves. You're supporting big time right now on the channel. Much love and appreciation for that. Twitch is popping as well. Just hit 5K. So if you are following on Twitch, really appreciate you for helping me reach that milestone. If you haven't followed on Twitch, you're missing a lot of great content. We just did an episode live with Ryan from Twitter, also known as Top 4 Tactics, new YouTube channel starting in the summer. Very good analytical tactical account. If you haven't seen that stream, check it out. And if you, for some reason, don't want to download Twitch, I will be discussing a little bit more of that on All You Can Eat Chelsea in terms of Raphinha and the fit. But let's make sure this player actually signs first. We don't want to do what Arsenal fans did and get our edits together for no reason. But yeah, until next time, big up your damn selves, and I'll see y'all in a bit. Big up. Peace, people.